All right, everybody. I thought I'd give a video to show you how we're starting the journey that I guess will be my first transmission rebuild. I don't have a lot of faith at this point. What you're looking at is my transmission that was original to the truck as it was received by me after I had hired a garage to do a repair when I had an issue where I couldn't shift into two of the gears. And I don't remember if it was first and third or second and fourth, but it was one of those two where I had to rev match because the synchros weren't spinning things up anymore. The culprit was identified as a broken synchro key there. But the story as to why it's like this and not installed in the truck, it involves the help of two friends, me supplying a lot of parts to the transmission rebuilder, and then ultimately a police detective and 6 months worth of work before this is how we got it back. Now, when I say I supplied a lot of parts, first were the keys to repair what he said was broken, and the second was a synchro kit, which I can see has been kind of installed. You can see the brass synchronizers here. All look pretty shiny and new, but why our fifth gear is sitting like that and why I can do this with fifth gear, I don't know. As you can also see, looks like this guy here wasn't pressed completely in place, and no matter what I do, I cannot turn my input shaft. Look at that. It's just solid. It is worth noting that one of my friends who was helping me out did figure out who the person was who did the rebuild or who was hired to do the rebuild work. And I was told that under no circumstances should anything that they have worked on, under no circumstances should it be installed in any vehicle ever. So we're going to take their advice. So looking at where we're starting, so I do have an extra fifth gear set. Not really important as how that came into existence, but it was in my garage. We have all our shift forks. We have 3 rods and that guy there. We have C-clips of varying shapes and sizes, which look to be used. And then if we look at our C-clips installed in the truck, you can see there's some physical damage from impact. Both of them show that. I don't want to ask, I know how those got on there. It doesn't take much imagination. We have this tooth and ring set, which I'm not sure where they go. So it might be that guy there. We have some seals. We have the old synchros. We've got a couple plugs. We got 3 small springs. Those are always good, right? Some sort of sleeve. Oh, we have this bearing. I thought this was interesting. So I've got this bearing here, which is obviously cut apart. And I've got this brand new bearing, which looks to be a perfect match for it. But I don't know where it goes, but it seems to me that, if you had one that was cut apart and a new one, the new one should be installed somewhere. I don't know. So I'm sure we'll figure out why that's like that. Speaking of bearings, we've got 2 different sizes of barrel bearings there. I think you can see, there's a good example, size difference. We got 3 ball bearings, and we got this guy here that I'm just going to call Mr. Bean. He seemed unique. He's domed on both ends. We got a box full of random nuts and bolts. I really hope I'll be able to figure out where those go. I got some empty boxes from bearings and full boxes of bearings. Should be noted that the noise we're hearing could also be contributed to a bearing that's external to the transmission. That's the release bearing. I have 2 of these. I don't know why. I did change the clutch once, which is how I ended up with that spare pressure plate there when I changed the transmission. But as to why I have 2 bearings when I've only ever done the job once, that's kind of new to me. Got those new keys. I got what I think is a full gasket set for the W56. Got my housing, and I think most importantly to this job is going to be this beer bottle opener, which, I think we're going to install maybe right there. So that's how we're starting. We've got 1 month to figure this out. I can't afford to take the truck into Ukraine with a bearing noise as it is. The reason is, I mean, it might not fail, but if it does, it's going to fail on the trip. And I think the worst case scenario there would be truck loaded up with supplies breaking down on the way in. The kids wouldn't get their Easter gifts this year, and we will have failed in our delivery. I really don't mind it failing on the way out. I can work my way around that with tow trucks and credit cards and garages and whatnot, but I can't take the chance on a failure on the way in. So we're going to figure this out. There's some videos online. We're going to get out our 3-jaw pullers. I got my hydraulic press set up over there. One way or another, the truck is going to be mobile. So wish me luck, guys. It's my first transmission rebuild, and I think we're starting this from the worst possible spot, but no excuses. We're going in.